One of the key strategies to building up the big-ass points and frequent flyer miles balances that allow Carson and I to travel the world in style at the drop of a hat is leveraging sign-up bonuses from credit cards. We get a lot of these credit cards and we get the sign-up bonus every time. These sign-up bonuses usually have a spending component and a time component. For example, you get a nice big nut of 50,000 travel rewards points worth $1,000 or more if you spend $3,000 on the card within the first 90 days of membership, about $1,000 a month on average. These sign-up bonuses you have a spending requirement as low as $500 or as high as $5,000 or even $10,000 within that 3-month period. One of the ways you can fuck this up is by not making that minimum spend, and then you got the credit card but didn't get the big sign-up bonus. And another way that you can fuck this up is by changing your spending habits in order to accommodate the sign-up bonus. For example, you start overspending, living outside of your means. It may even start to feel good to spend extra money on things that you don't need. And before you know it, you're carrying a high interest balance of 15, 20, 25%, and that wipes out the value you got from travel rewards. Never fucking do that. Never carry a balance on these cards. Pay the statement in full every time. And in order to help you do that, here's Carson with a couple of tips on how to plan for and make the minimum spending requirement every time. This is very important, so stay through to the end. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and ring the bell so you hear more details on this shit as we bring it out. So here's Carson.
Also, this is actually a decent way to gauge the quality of your friends. I always fuck that last part up. Hey, I'm Carson, and today I'll be talking about some tips for meeting the minimum spending requirements for credit card sign-up bonuses, even if you're not a big spender. You may have seen some travel rewards cards offering sign-up bonuses of 50, 60, 100,000 points even, but then notice that the small print reads after completing minimum spending requirements. Then, realizing the minimum spend is often $3,000 to $5,000 in the first 90 days of account opening, you start to doubt if it's even achievable. The first step, which may seem really obvious, is to plan for it. Don't just blindly apply for cards and hope you hit the minimum spend. My number one go-to is to always plan credit card applications around a major purchase. Something that will put a good dent in that minimum spending requirement. Maybe you want to upgrade your home appliances or take care of some vehicle repairs you've been putting off, or just get through your annual holiday shopping. Now, because the golden rule of using credit cards is never pay interest, I start saving the money beforehand so I know I can pay that full statement balance when the time comes. At the same time, as soon as you get the card, add it as the payment method for all of your revolving monthly bills. Usually it's pretty painless to log into your utility billing accounts and change the payment methods. Those monthly charges for things like cellular service, internet, power, water, car insurance, they can add up pretty fast. Some utility companies will even allow you to make advance payments on your account if you need that extra push toward your spend goal. You should also be using the card for your day-to-day expenses. Groceries, gas, dining out, bars, movies, you get the idea. Any place that will take your card as payment, that's where you should be using it. Now, I'm not suggesting that you overspend for the sake of a sign-up bonus. Just maintain your normal spending patterns and get used to the idea of paying a large credit card bill every month, instead of gradually seeing your account balance go down with each transaction like you would with a debit card. If your regular monthly expenses aren't putting you on a trajectory to hit your spend goal, here are some additional options. Scrolling. Pick up the dinner check when you go out with a group of friends. I've done this on a few occasions. You're out with a larger group and the server brings one check and sets it down on the table. Chaos ensues. Your friends are trying to sort out who had what for how much, but it feels like it's taking forever, and you know that just using one card would probably make the server's life easier, if nothing else. I can't speak for your social circle, but in my group of friends, if I pay an entire check for the group, they don't have a problem giving me cash or using a service like Venmo to cover their share. Also, this is actually a decent way to gauge the quality of your friends. Another approach is what I call the future spend now technique. This is really just investing in gift cards for places you'll eventually spend that money anyway. Maybe you're down to your last 5 days for meeting that minimum spend requirement, but still have $200 or so to go. Buy $200 worth of gift cards for the grocery store you go to most frequently, or the gas station where you always fill up. In the long run, you're not spending anything additional, You're just getting that spend on the card in the necessary time frame, and that's the important thing. At this point, we're getting to methods that incur an added expense for the privilege of using a credit card. I'd file these under only use if necessary. Housing is probably everyone's biggest monthly expense, and some apartment complexes will actually take a credit card for rent payment. Whether or not it's worthwhile comes down to the complex's fee for using the card every month. If you only have to pay this fee for a month or two and it's the only way you're going to reach that minimum spend requirement, then I say just go for it. Lastly, and I put this here as an absolute last resort, some people have had success with buying PIN-enabled gift cards, which they then use to buy money orders. They take the money orders and deposit them into their bank account and use the cash from the money orders to pay their credit card bill. This is the definition of manufactured spend, which is sort of a moral gray area. I have never had to resort to this method personally, and I don't really recommend it, but since it comes up in nearly every article or forum thread on this topic, I have to include it. Again, I don't really recommend this.
Hey, whoa, wait, hold up. That isn't quite everything. We filmed this a little while ago, and afterwards Paul and I had a discussion about it, and there is one more good option for helping to meet minimum spend requirements that Paul and I did forget to mention. You can use a service called Plastic, spelled with a Q, of course, why wouldn't it be? And this service allows you to use a credit card to pay bills that maybe you otherwise wouldn't really be able to pay with a credit card. Mortgages, car payments, things of that nature. They do code as a purchase and not as a cash advance, so works towards hitting that minimum spend requirement. And they also charge a 2.5% fee for that luxury. So it's not really something I recommend doing every month, but if you need to do it to meet that minimum spend, it is worthwhile. You don't want to miss out on a sign-up bonus. So that's the last thing I had to add. Just wanted to get that in there because it does belong on this list.
What are some strategies you've used for meeting minimum spend requirements? Let us know in the comments below. I always fuck that last part up. It's like I get through the whole video and it's like, oh.